introduce ourselves?
Yeah, every time.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
I'm Melissa.
I'm Brendon,
I'm John Benjamin.
and we're here to talk about this
Well, I
episode
wanted to thank you for representing me in this
of
case.
home movies.
No
Hiatus.
problem, even though I don't
This
like
is-
you
yeah,
at all.
Season 3 of the second season.
So this starts
Wait,
off.
episode?
You can tell my jazz influences from this first scene. You're gonna hear a lot of just old school Charlie Parker bop jazz. And got this Ron Jeremy look going on.
Really? You're a
Um,
No, I'm Richard.
This coming up here is another great example of the animators kind of going above and beyond. I feel like maybe Damon was involved in the spotlight effect that's about to kick in.
Yes.
Okay, but you must take this. Alright, but only in
That was a
exchange
clean
for
cut to
2
his
of
wig.
these.
Yeah.
I'll take those and raise you this. You don't have change for 3 of these, do you? No, I don't. But
Um,
my butt looks big and
Here it
deep.
comes.
Not as big as it will look after.
I learned something very big in the second season of Home Movies too, which is that
Wait, here comes the jazz.
You may not
yes,
battle
the jazz is coming. Yes, it's coming shortly. We fight with jazz. Yes. Bring it on, Daddy.
Oh, look
Oh,
at
that's
that.
nice.
Yeah. This is the worst kind of the worst scatting ever.
Scatting.
Look at that
Yeah.
soft white.
And Melissa does some great scatting too.
Yeah.
Doodly
She
doodly
does.
doodly doodly. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Melissa's very good at
That's
scatting.
pretty.
Oh,
That's
that's so
very
fun.
kind of like. That's very Snoopy.
Yeah.
Brendan straight on looks like the
Wow.
weirdest creature in the world.
Arm comes in. Whoop. That's true. You don't see him straight on.
I think there's a little bit of laughing in that too.
Yeah. This is when you guys are at your happiest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, when
I
we're
think
doing.
that
Actually, it's
scatting-
true. It's
that
true.
scatting probably went on for about 2 hours.
Yes.
Where every
Yeah.
10 minutes we were trying
No,
to
I
like,
think we just
have
want
enough.
when it comes to not having any dialogue and just weird noises. I think I'm at my absolute. I regress back to my childhood.
Yes. And
Which is-
John loves to sing.
John loves to
Yeah.
sing.
Loves to sing.
Yeah.
Little known fact. Give him a chance to sing and he gets as happy as he ever
Yeah,
is.
that's probably true. Yeah. This is okay. Here's an important lesson I learned from writing home movies was that
Then we'll take a hiatus.
I realized that home movies was a nice place to have any excuse to put music in, and it kind of started happening more in this season with the Starboy episode,
Right.
and so this is continuing Paula's subplot
Teaching creative writing? No.
of
Yeah.
her. She's about to lose her job in this one,
Right.
so this whole hiatus episode is you're taking a break whether or not you like it, kind of a thing. But this is also a theme in home movies, even bigger in the 4th season, where they're just getting sick of doing this. I think it's probably like there's a part of anybody like in any creative field that gets really sick of what they're doing.
Okay. Anything else?
It's like how sick of I am of my own voice right now. You know?
Oh, Lynch and McGurk in the teacher's lounge.
Yes, always
was
always a lot of fun.
A great little set piece that we discovered in the first season.
Yeah.
We occasionally revisited it. Sort of a duel. It's almost the Old West.
Yes. This is the subplot where they go to Mexico.
Oh, that's
Possibly.
Oh,
is that
that's
right?
I
I
think
believe
that's how
so.
it ends.
Oh yeah, that's one of the funniest.
Oh, yeah.
last
Yeah, so
scenes
it's
we ever did.
Cancun, right? So
Yeah. Donde está la hotel that we're staying at?
yeah, yeah, very funny.
Oh, Ron Lynch.
So okay, here's what we were trying to do. I think we crammed a lot more subplots into each episode, but these episodes weren't traditional like TV stories in any way at all. They were all kind of theme based. So there was like one theme that was kind of the title that kind of, at least that's the only way I could approach it, because I didn't care for regular TV kind of writing / couldn't do it. So what we did was it was theme stuff. So everyone's taking a break in some way. And it doesn't necessarily have to go to a certain place. It's just, it's hopefully the end result is some kind of comedy or character development or fun,
It's a nice, also, if you have an A and a B plot and they don't intersect or influence each other in any way, it's nice to pretend that they have a theme in common.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Look, it's a classic Melissa and Brendan on the phone.
That's
scene.
right.
So,
And
Melissa,
this
talk
is-
about this for a while.
well. This is the first episode where you learn Melissa's last name, Robbins, that appears on the mailbox outside her home.
Is that true?
Oh.
And I remember that was a whole day's worth of emails.
So tell us
Figure
about
out
Robbins.
Melissa's
Last
last
name.
name. It's Robin, which is my middle name.
Wasn't there an
That's a little-
original last name that was going to be Finkel?
There was an original last name that didn't get approved because there was an actual person with that name.
There's the great little "Don't Hang Up" thing.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
Which is confusing because there's got to be somebody named Melissa Robbins.
Not the way we spelled it.
That's impossible.
Well, you know.
There is
quote
okay.
legal
There's
on
always
it.
there are always real people that as long as they're not like kind of like.
As long as they're nobody.
As long as no, the rule is like no. When
It
we got
doesn't
those,
matter.
when we got the legal reports, it would always be like if there are a million people named this, we can goof around.
Right, but if there's
If there's just one, then
That's right.
then we
Yeah.
could get in trouble.
at that phone.
That's a
when
dildo
there's-
phone.
That is a total dildo. Oh, I
Oh my
love this
gosh.
scene. I love this.
This is
Ken Adelberg,
This
he's
is
back.
when he doesn't want to.
I think Brent's
he doesn't want to go to class
Yeah, that's
right
it.
anymore. He's kind of had enough of creative writing.
This is my wife's giving me the rap.
Yes, that's
Which is
right.
a line, whether or not Jonathan Katz will ever know that that's a line
That's
that I
his
stole from
line.
him that he
Yeah.
gave me one time when I was trying to talk to him on the phone. I was
I'm
like,
getting there.
Brendon, I'd love to talk to you, but my wife's giving me the wrap. I'm like, you called me. You called me on a Sunday.
Right. Not to mention that's not a talk show. You don't get the wrap up.
Yeah, you don't
In
get the
real
wrap.
life.
In real life,
Right,
though.
his wife's the executive producer. Yeah.
his life.
Of his life. Yes. But
Susie Cates.
Shout
this is
out
kind
to
of a
Susie.
Shout out to Susie Cates.
this is one of those things where it's they should not have shown the book not being a coloring book first.
Oh, they ruined the
Yeah,
joke.
That was one of those things. Just like, what are you doing, coloring in a book? Yeah, is that a coloring book? No, it's something how to really.
I'm sorry. I gotta
So
say.
it's like a
let me
child
let me
rearing.
take the blame for this. That's a director's job to catch that. You
That's
got
right.
it. That's my one job is to know whether the
It's all right.
visual steps ahead of the.
You just
punchline.
push into the tightest shot of his eyeballs until you pull back and reveal everything.
Oh,
and it's
I had
like-
one job. I couldn't
Right.
do it.
There was one other joke in this one that also kind of did not work. Was
Maybe I was sick on this episode.
you might have been sick on this episode, but was the later on with Dwayne and Brendon bring the guitar. I love how one thing I learned about home movies, I call myself Brendon, but I call him Brendon. And that ain't me. But the shoebox guitar where the shoe actually falls out, which is a very funny gag that
Yes.
read really funny. But everybody was wearing ladies' shoes because they had this
Yes.
Rocky Horror Picture
Yes,
Show
that's
vibe
right.
kind of like happening. So like, well, that's not so weird. Everyone has ladies'
That
shoes
is
on.
right.
Remember?
Not as
They're like,
funny.
oh, not as obscure or
yeah.
bizarre. Everyone's
Right.
got. But it's funny. There was a phenomenon that happened in home movies, which is room funny. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like the kind of thing is like
Booth funny, yeah.
booth funny, which means that like there's a joke there, and if you negate the joke with a different joke, it's extra funny to everybody in the room because we know the truth of the first joke, and then if you negate that again, then it's like a third removal, and then it just doesn't make sense in the episode anymore.
Let me
And you'll find
let
a
me
lot-
use that opportunity to introduce Patrick and Jack, who
Yes.
were the editors on this
Yes.
season and for several others, and that is a great example of what an editor has to do, has to think about. Was it when we all laughed that day?
Right, yeah,
was
yeah.
it funny
Because, yeah.
it was booth funny, or is it also funny
Actually funny.
for the episode?
'Cause
And
you
did
get
it
wrapped
improve
up
the
in the
material?
moment.
Exactly, because this whole movie's ended up being a very fine line between both, which was like stuff that was conversational and real and very funny to us,
Yeah.
and that was like the kind of like the best stuff, you know, like which is the stuff that you threw out there and said like, will this be funny to other people? I think so. But then there's just like a negation of a negation of a negation, which means that it makes no sense, which is also really funny to me.
Which is pretty much what happens by the end of every recording.
Right.
Right, yeah, it's like it ends up being kind of extra not funny, or extra funny
It's at the
because
same time.
it doesn't make as much sense.
Yeah,
Right.
nothing's funny anymore, and it's all.
Right. So when you introduce any kind of topic that may be the original joke, which might have been a well-written one or something, and then go the other way with that joke, it's going to be extra funny and sometimes way funnier than the original joke.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times when it's in Benjamin's case, he would make anything, a billion times as funny and not read your first joke that you fell in love with.
That's right.
So like home movies as a writer was the process of learning to let go immediately.
Yeah,
You know?
and it's a tribute to the writers' fortitude that you guys can. Oh, this is a great scene.
I'm playing for the first time.
Oh, and this was
This
a
was a
very.
big
Oh, do
fix.
you remember this? This is
Yeah.
also this is
The
a big thing that we
voiceover.
learned too, which was that we had it didn't make any sense because
This
we
is-
didn't have the voiceover first
Yeah,
of all,
Right.
exactly.
and we had them kind of just like going crazy, and it was Walter and Perry, like
Uh-huh.
we discovered, it was after rediscovering them.
That was a huge after fact.
Yeah,
Putting
so
the
like I
voiceover.
threw in some
Think I can go to
nylon string guitar, and then had him do a voiceover really quick. Remember? And we were like, "Yay, we're geniuses!" We're like, we discovered something that people have been doing for years, for like 70 years of the motion picture industry. Yeah.
Brendon, it was the first time we did it.
Yes, but it was the first time we did it. Yeah, we discovered a lot of old tricks.
We did.
Yeah,
we
but we felt
the montage.
Yeah, the montage.
We discovered voiceover.
Right. What else? Oh, no, there's one other.
We discovered cutting.
Oh, that's right, cutting out stuff. Yeah. We didn't need that.
And cutting just different camera angles.
No, but there was. Yeah, right. Yeah. The one not violating the 180-degree rule. Right.
Actually, let me go back all the way back to Dr. Katz for a second. We invented lip flap. When we first started doing animation, we didn't know if... No, we did. We thought maybe the mouth won't move because that's much easier to draw.
Right.
And then on the Avid, we had one shot of a guy with his mouth open, and then later in the scene, he's supposed to have his mouth closed, and we like accidentally cut them back and forth, and we were like, hey, it looks like he's talking. And then we were like, hey, we could do that for the whole thing.
So no one had come up with that.
It looked like they were talking.
And it doesn't have to match up with the
And so we
consonants.
invented animation.
Wow.
I see. You invented it. Here's Lindenton again. We don't like him, and you're right to not like him, but you should embrace him because he's a part of everyone's life.
Listen to the music. That's all I can
listen
say.
to the music,
Right.
exactly.
The way he says
He wrote a symphony of sounds, nasally sounds. It's better than Bartok. It's better than
Brahms.
Better than Brahms, yes. Still, you know.
Is this where he says it's not a bad joke, but a bad time for jokes?
Yes.
My favorite Lindenton line.
All right, this is going very smoothly so far. Now,
look, Mr. Lindenton.
Oh, no.
Dropout rate in my class is high, but you know what?
It might not be this scene, but but he's introducing the idea for losing your job.
man who has no time for worrying about things. Conversely, I don't think you should worry about something as
He's one of those guys where, like, when we start going fast with home movies, we're like, some of these characters don't really look like home movies characters.
Right.
And I thought he was one of the guys that kind of didn't look exactly like. His look was definitely like a little bit Beaker-esque. He looked more like a Muppet, you know. The other thing I do love about this scene is the tradition of keeping up just the outlined objects.
Yeah,
the
right.
phone
It's true.
over there.
We sort of go a little bit away from
It goes
that.
away, yeah. It gets a little bit
Here
more
and there,
elaborate, but
File
it's
cabinet.
there. I mean, like, that's someone is keeping that up, and that two-tone back wall is kind of cool.
Yeah.
How about Mr. French? Budget cuts. What do you do?
What do you do?
Oh, that was fun. He he brought so much energy to that.
Always a good time when Andy Kindler was in there.
Oh, it was always fun. Yeah.
This guy in the room.
So
It's not a firing that takes
so that previous scene was I didn't talk. I felt like I didn't talk about too much music the last commentary,
We skipped
but
over that whole Dwayne song.
yeah. So that was Crazy
Crazy
Legs.
Legs.
Yeah. So there's a Crazy Legs Fast thing, which is that kind of Rocky Horror Picture Show kind of like vibe. But that was a fun. If you put echo on your voice and just record that, you'll sound like 1970s kind of theater rock. Or I mean like, but. That was a fun song that like I never finished.
Oh, here comes
There's
another
always like,
song.
oh, these are great beginnings of songs, but there's
Talk
only
about this song.
It's not a song.
this is it's not a song.
It's the home movies theme. That's a song.
It's not a song. Sorry, it's not a song.
Okay, you guys ready to work?
And that's Jen Kirkman,
Kirkman.
as the
Cynthia.
Cynthia.
Yeah,
Yes.
the reoccurring character.
Yes.
Really, because I could just be helpful as an audience member, you know.
And Brendan's
Oh,
character.
Brendan wants to be a roadie.
Well, he doesn't want to be a
He's
roadie.
in love
I
with
think he
Cynthia,
goes there.
right?
He's a little obsessed with Cynthia,
Yeah.
and she's a choreographer, and
Right.
she's kind of not giving him anything, and he's
Oh, there's the shoe falls out.
This is the thing. I actually did snap myself with a rubber band in the booth, I believe.
You're so
There's the
committed.
shoe.
In front of several other shoes.
Yeah, that's
Right.
that's what Brando would do. But
I'm so sorry. You're sure there's nothing I can do to help out?
I do like they're kind of like they're like kind of dressing as ladies. They're kind of like their New York Dolls thing that's
Glam.
kind of going. Oh, and this is also just
This is great. I love this song.
it's a fun song.
Oh yeah, this is a great scene.
And look at this, a turnaround.
That was like a big deal for us
Yeah.
too. Is like
Look
that was
at
such a
that.
creative animation.
That's
moment.
practically
Yeah.
3D. Do
Yeah.
that, Pixar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to do that, DreamWorks. I don't think so. Oh.
Look at that. She turned all the way around.
Did
Yeah,
you see?
she turned all the way around. She exists somewhere.
Did you see Lindenton spun around in his chair? a
That's
few
true.
times?
Yeah.
It did. It made
There's
his
the-
eyes go all googly.
When you asked me to plug your guitar.
Oh, you electrocuted.
Which is just
I like that Brendan's in a black t-shirt. That's so
yeah, it's just the roadie thing. That's great. There was so much. I again, the animators constantly topping themselves and making things
In
funnier.
this scene,
And
I particularly want to recognize Dave Sanangelo.
yes,
aka
Dave
Fabio.
Sanangelo was one of the.
I think
Whenever music would happen,
Yeah, he did
Dave
almost
would
all the music
always
scenes.
jump to the forefront and just like
Loved the music videos.
yeah, he just really
He loved Scab.
he loves Scab. Yeah,
big
I
Scab
think
fan.
the animators named him Scab. I never
think
did.
you're right.
I think so.
Yeah, I was
He's got a thriller thing.
That's
going on
that's
there.
really funny. Yeah, but yeah, Scab was not a name. I think we'd come up with a bunch of different like the Dwayniacs, Dwayne Tat, just like terrible names. Like thank God, and I just didn't want a name because thinking of a band name was just whatever. It was just Dwayne and his band as far as I was
I
concerned.
like how she's wearing cargo pants. That's funny.
And leg warmers.
Yes.
Yeah,
I showed you yesterday,
yeah,
remember?
yeah. The Dutch angle is so creepy with them. It's
Doing,
so
like,
weird.
Thriller, basically.
I have that loop in my head when I go to sleep every night. Yeah.
Yes, guys.
So
He's doing it
And
right.
Jen Kirkman also played the school nurse.
yes, Jen Kirkman also played the school nurse. So they pitched her voice up. She's got that scratchy voice, and it works especially well for a kid.
Yeah. Sexy kid. Oh, that's right. He's teaching him.
So here's okay. Say my Spanish is limited. I'll say that right now. But that's David Letterman. But I called my brother, who had a little bit less limited Spanish, and tried to get him to conjugate or try to give me some Spanish to work on for this scene. That's how stupid I am. I'm really dumb. But like this is rudimentary Spanish.
There's something about a peanut, I think.
Yeah. That was my brother only knew something about like cacahuete or
Yeah,
something.
that's it.
I don't even know if that's right.
That's not it.
I'm not sure. But Melissa, you're here. So Melissa, let's talk about your experience in the booth. A lot of the time, you might have
This
been.
was the first Home Movies was the first show I ever recorded for.
Yes,
You too. But
Yes.
you had done a lot of stand up and
if you want to call it that, yeah.
you had performed in
Let's
front
say
of others.
I've gone up and embarrassed myself in front of people.
This was
a
the
number of
first time I
times.
performed in front of others, and I got thrown in the booth with John Benjamin and Brendon Small.
Yes.
What a way to start.
I know.
And you handled yourself
With complete
beautifully.
novices.
Total
Yes.
grace
Oh, thank you.
under
Yeah.
pressure.
I was.
And not only that, I think also whenever Benjamin was goofing around, you would be the butt of the joke.
Yes, much like in life.
In life and in
I did-
because it still was.
Right,
life.
I
Yeah.
knew John Benjamin for many years before going in the booth with him. We had just met recently.
Right.
So that was part of, I think, why I was comfortable going in, because I was used to him picking on me.
She had a tough
So
exterior,
now-
this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
takes a tough girl.
Hey, I can take it.
Yeah.
Indeed. Shall we? Okay, so she has gotten fired at this point. Is this right, Paula?
I think she's being fired on the phone.
Sounds like it.
You know what? I gotta go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
no,
it's
she
after
wasn't ready.
He's calling to make
Yeah.
sure she doesn't sue him.
Oh, and then he comes
Oh,
over.
yes,
Oh, this
yes.
is a weird
Sure.
drinking scene.
Oh yeah, that's right.
This is No, he said, I hope you like wine packaged in boxes.
Yeah.
That was kind of.
Yeah. This is also funny when he talks to Brendon. Hello, young lady.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that was a thing. Yes, I think that ends up being a recurring thing with him. He keeps mistaking Brendan for a little girl.
Yes.
I meant me.
And at some point, there's a video Brendan made about being a little girl.
That was in
That's on the Pretty
first
Lady.
season.
Right.
That
I'm a
was in the
pretty
first season,
lady.
Yeah.
Um,
That was real accidentally. He's very embarrassed.
right.
Yes.
Yes, that was accidental. Yeah.
The real Brendon Small is embarrassed
Right.
that it was revealed.
Which was real.
And now I'm actually very at peace with that.
I love all the off angles in the
It's so bizarre.
background.
Yeah, this is a
It is some-
questionable scene.
He did some daytime drinking.
Yeah.
He's afraid. No, the joke is that he was afraid that she's gonna kill him.
Right. That's right.
But there's some strange.
Yeah, drinking out of the shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grabs the shoe.
Yeah, it's sometimes
It's funny how the same scene becomes questionable once there's a child in the room.
yeah. It's just you
Even
know what
an
though. I think
animated
it was
one.
one of those things that where we learned also is that as long as no one's reacting to it, it's okay. If a kid's like
No.
traumatized by it, then
And you know what? A weird animation thing. Well, not.
He's gonna go
He's
take a
going
leak.
there.
This is funny.
No, a standards issue was that we couldn't see them actually drinking the alcohol.
That's right.
We could see them pouring it, and we could see them putting their glass
They could
down.
be drunk. But
And they could
can't-
be drunk, but we couldn't see the alcohol going into their
We
mouth.
couldn't or we
Animated
couldn't,
alcohol.
Melissa. We couldn't or we couldn't.
We're not in the booth doing an episode, Brendon. You can lay off.
We couldn't?
Don't make me talk about buttons.
Buttons. Buttons. I couldn't find the buttons.
That was a nice.
So they're
little
back
dance move.
together. They're working
Right.
on a movie.
The hiatus?
Yes.
You know, the only
Is
good
over.
thing that came out of it was that it made me want to.
What did Melissa do during the hiatus?
You know, too.
Yeah, what did you do?
No, it was funny. There was the old joke where me and Bill would go like, all right, we got something for McGurk, we got something for Brendon, we got something for Jason, we got something for Paula. Where's Melissa? She's on a flight. She's
on vacation.
She'll come back to the. Oh, this is where you do the
this is
sketch.
great.
Oh, the
scatting.
lackluster scat.
Yeah, and the worst thing is they always crapped on the stuff that was probably their best stuff. You know, they're like, this is crappy. No, it isn't. This is like the best thing they've ever done.
I think that's a
Gotta put rain for them.
testament, to get back to you always wanting Melissa to be on vacation, to how well you and Bill know the ladies.
Yeah.
That you had a hard
True.
time writing for a female character.
Paula was in every episode.
Getting drunk.
Well, she's a little bit
Getting
manic.
way.
hammered.
Bye-bye.
Oh yeah, this is
Everything's great.
Okay.
taking out the recycling.
yeah, taking out like that much. That was supposed to be like our subtle joke of how much she's been drinking.
Right.
And this is we like. I feel at fault for making things too cutesy and not working, and so I get embarrassed when these kinds of scenes come up.
Okay, well then let's
Let's
take
watch
a
it.
moment to enjoy how embarrassed you'll be.
Yeah. Not too forced.
No, not too forced. Yeah, pretty forced, kind of cutesy. She gives him a glimmer of hope, though.
Which is
And
all
he
any
is.
of us are looking for.
He's the kid that never gets the girl. You know, I think with Lonnie in the first
Oh, that's
season
right.
doesn't get the girl, and just gotta
She
keep
was
that
no
up.
good for you anyway.
Yeah, right. But
Oh, here we go.
but here we are, all the way.
The
Our
final.
first on location in Mexico.
That's
Yeah.
right.
We actually have.
Yes.
Lynch, come here.
Everyone in this episode, in this show,
Is
does a
drunk.
lot of daytime drinking.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Lynch, shut up.
So funny.
The best part about McGurk is how much he hates Lynch and just shows up in his life constantly.
Yes. Yeah, McGurk is a complicated man.
Yes, he really is. He's a loner that can't really be alone.
Yes.
You know,
I'm guessing that's going to be you, Brendon, as the little Mexican
I
male.
believe that was me. Yes. Okay. Yeah, you could, that's a good job of me disguising my nasally, crappy voice.
Such a funny scene.
Where the Lynch, the hotel.
Oh, Lynch. He's also, it's just,
That
home
was
movies is
fake.
populated with some of the funniest people that I've ever come in contact with, you know?
The cast.
And not come in
couldn't-
contact
yeah,
with. I mean, like,
couldn't be
people.
better.
Yeah, I mean, with
Lynch.
Lynch, with
Handler.
Kendler. Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying.
Making
But,
We
that
have
was, like-
definitely worked with some of the funniest people, like truly some of the funniest stand-ups
In comedy
and
today, yeah.
actors. They're
That
so
aren't
funny.
well known enough, too, to their credit. I mean,
We
like,
had good access to Dr. Katz, too.
Yes, it's true.